and welcome to this special session. At the end of the day, as they say, what makes the world go round? It's money. And we are going to be focusing on Next in Money in our next session. And of course, these days, the economy, finance, trade, these are all buzzwords, of course, in 2026. But I want to start out, by asking you, Mr. Ravi, and I know Ms. Loomba, of course, wants to give a bit of background before he comes to the point of what's next in money. But let me ask you first. When I say what's next in money, what comes top of your mind to you, Mr. Ravi?
So, first of all, what is money? It's a whole ecosystem of banking, insurance, AIFs, market, AIFs, and cross-border transactions. And this is the whole ecosystem of money, commodity trade. So this whole, and industry, which is manufacturing, and the trade that happens, all this brings in money. But what is the most important aspect is the regulation that has come in the last 10 years. You see, RERA has come in. You have seen how IRDA has made regulations stronger, how SEBI has become very highly sort of regulating the whole thing, and also the ultimate beneficiary clause, FATCA guidelines, etc. So, if you look at the present ecosystem, and I'm just stating the facts here, there are about 54 mutual funds, 72 insurance company, 80 lakh crores sitting as AUM with mutual funds, and about 75 lakh crores sitting with insurance companies. We have a commodity trade of 50,000 crores every day, and the deposit is at 2.62 trillion. So this is what is the whole ecosystem that is there at present. So this is what I have to say.
Okay.
And how have we moved in the last 10 years is visible. ATM, kiosk, internet banking, and now depositories. Then you have a CDSL, NSDL, and everything. So, and CIBIL. So you look at the whole landscape, how it has moved, is a very interesting aspect.
And it continues to move.
It continues to move.
It's not just, what the past has been, but it continues to move, which leads me to my next question to you, Vaibhav, on the movement of money. Just give us a bit of background on that, on kind of what, dominates the movement of money in the world that we live in today before we get to Next in Money with you, and what the trends are that you foresee.
Yes, I think I'll take it a little one step back from what Dr. Ravi said. So movement of money, once the infrastructure is in place, it's in place in many parts of the world. Of course, in India, what Dr. Ravi said, the gift city and the infrastructure is ready. But you need a lot of geopolitics, growth, all that to move around as moving parts to come to such an institution. Now, when it does come to such an institution, that's when the scale happens. Usually, if you see, I look at cycles. My real work is to look at macro world, look at geopolitics, look at large long-term cycles, 10, 20, 30 years. Now, at some point, when India and the city and all the IFSC is going to be up and running completely, 5 years in this 25-year cycle, we'll see a big boom. Now, why does that big boom come? Because the money moves in that way. We have seen it in the Middle East in the last 5 years. Of course, it's going to be reversal now with the whole geopolitical situation. So geopolitics, GDP growth, we've seen in America in the 70s, Middle East, and maybe now next 20 years, 25 years, it's India. So India needs to be prepared for the infra, as we rightly said, and we will see the movement come. So I see the movement coming at some point now, sooner than later.
And then let's get to what's next in money, Vaibhav. What's coming up next?
So I think the movement, again, I've clarified. So you need geopolitics, you need regulation, legal framework, and the sentiment. I think sentiment is very important. Money moves on psychological factors, on what people think and behavior. So where are we seeing it now? I think at this point, since we are here at Next in India, and I wanted really to say that I think the stars are aligned for India now again.
You know,
So-
I'll come back to you because I just want to address, in this entire conversation, and you've raised some interesting trends which we'll delve on. But Dr. Ravi, on now banking, because where do people keep their money? It's in a bank. We've seen how digital India, Jan Dhan, has transformed the way people do banking, and particularly in rural parts of the country. And it's a big model for our international guests as well. The Jan Dhan accounts and the digitization of banking in India is a model that the world can learn from and follow because of the scale of its rollout. How is banking going to continue to change, though? And what kind of safeguards also are needed in terms of banking and also insurance, Dr. Ravi?
Yeah. First of all, UPI, just adding to what you said, UPI is a great example and a great success.
Now, all the dignitaries who come from abroad, they don't buy things with their credit card, they buy through UPI as well.
Yes. So that is the first thing that has happened just in the recent past. But coming to what is going to be the future. So I personally feel because it is depositors' money, regulations will get stronger. And that is the first and foremost. And you have seen it. The number of collapses that have happened in the banking system is very limited. And the Reserve Bank has, in its wisdom, always addressed that in a very quick and in a very definitive manner. For example, PMC Bank, what happened? Or Yes Bank, what happened? They did address. So the regulators will get stronger here. Regulatory measures will be stronger. There we have seen a consolidation. I see further consolidation because strong banks are very good for us, and I further see a lot of consolidation. And the next thing that I see in the next 5 years, absolutely what will happen, the convergence of banking, insurance, commodities, all into one. And that is what we will see, because what has happened, already the banks are selling insurance products and also other products. So the convergence will happen, and that is going to be the big game changer. If you look at it at 5 years now, it will be a 15 to 20% CAGR growth. That is what I foresee in the banking system. I see also that there will be lot of issues which will be there, which will creep in from the data privacy which is coming, because that is a very big issue that is coming. How to tackle that is going to be a big problem, because we have data all over the place. And then last but not the least, I see centralization of data. For example, one account will have the state savings bank. It will show your statement of stocks. It will show what you are having in commodity, what you have it in gold. All that will come into one format. That is what I see future of the whole universe converging together. That is what I see.
Let's now address taxation, compliance, and investment with you, Vaibhav, if you're good with that. Let's move on now a bit on how people are going to, what's next in investing, how people's investments are going to change, also in terms of taxation as well. How can government make things easier? And if you make things easier, it gets people to comply as well, particularly through innovative ideas. I think one of our panelists, Dr. Punia, referred to that earlier in his segment.
Yes, I'll take a part of this question. The rest I'll leave it to, I think, Dr. Ravi, because he can answer. But saying that, I'll go over again how India needs to get the infra right, which is getting. I mean, taxation is a little bit beyond the scope right now, but regulation, compliance, legal, banking infrastructure, UPI, technology, AI, I'll come at the end. All of this, if it's ready, people used to run to Dubai, DIFC, Abu Dhabi, all of them to set up companies. You have about 10,000 of those entities in DIFC, 10,000 in ADGM, in the Cayman Island, which is a very big jurisdiction for, parking AIFs and money. There are about 120,000, about 120,000. And Delaware, which is used as America's, offshore, is about 1.5 million entities. In Gift City, we have 1,000. So there's going to be a massive upside. Even if we go up from 1,000 to 10,000, it's 10x of growth. We've got a lot of things ready in that sense. Where AI will come now, I think once this is stage 2. We are I think at stage 2 when we see the money movement into these places. And stage 3 will be when there will be sophisticated products available to the Indian public to invest in. I mean, equity 25, 30 years back was a very, everybody did not have access to. Now it's available to you at the click of a button. But then there are more sophisticated structured products, private credit, private equity, which is still far away for people. But then again, in the next, I would not say 5 years, I think in the next 2 years, it will be available to everybody. And AI will help us navigate that transition. Because, I mean, I go back to a fundamental. You have information is internet. Internet gave us all information. AI is giving us now knowledge. I think understanding we have to still do humanly.
Before I come to Dr. Ravi, you raised the example of Gift City. I want you to delve a bit more into that, on how that can be a model for other parts of the country as well. As you're saying, it's set to completely transform investments and possibly take a lot of investment out of some of the places you referred to as well. How can Gift City be a model for creating such a zone even in the rest of the country?
So I think we stick to first a national champion, which could be a Gift City rather than regional champion. So we first focus on the national champion. Now, the good thing is that India, as the growth goes on, a lot of money in all the other centers I'm talking about was actually overseas hot money. That is why it comes out. But if you take Delaware and America, I mean, Delaware, all the money that goes into Delaware is American money, so it doesn't really go out. The same way, Indian money can be parked in Gift City rather than going overseas. So it will not come out very easily. And that is the beauty of a country like ours, because we are growing. It's internal money, it's not coming from outside. The outside is the next stage of it. On taxation and EIF, I think I was discussing with Dr. Ravi before. I think his thoughts on the EIF, because he is already dealing in this, will be quite interesting, actually.
Please come in on that. And how that can actually help compliance and also make the system much more.
So first of all, in 2018-19, the budget came in for a unified regulator, which is very unique. In the sense, you don't have to go to RBI separately, you don't have to go to SEBI separately. You have a unified regulator, and that's a very, very big, strong statement from India that everything will be decided there.
Yeah.
That's the first and foremost. The second aspect is 10 years tax holiday, which is a great incentive. You look at anybody who is investing in India and who invests through Gift City, 10-year GST holiday, 10-year tax holiday, which is a great thing, because what happens is any company which is a startup, which has started any fund which has just started its journey, you get a 10-year tax holiday, which is a big benefit if you look at from Gift City versus India, or any other, across the world, if you look at. So that is why if you look at the ranking itself, from 85th rank, Gift City has come into the first 50, it has gone to 49th rank now. So it is growing in stature because of the tax holidays, the structure, and if you look at AIFs, all the banks, all the nationalized banks, all private sector banks have their offices there. Trade has increased. And I can proudly say that the first exchange was created, I was a part of it. So today, from 2018 to look at 26, we have multiplied the transactions by 100 times. And that is the strength of Gift City. More to come, because we are learning there. And there are small hindrances. For example, the human capital is not available. Quick turnaround is not available. Okay. But that is all happening as on the ground.
Okay. And quickly also, to get your thoughts on next in investing, how is investment behavior changing? So
investment behavior, the valuation game is over in my view. Because the last 5-7 years saw a lot of valuation games. And I think people will be very realistic in their investment as we go forward. And that is because what we have learned from all the failures, I can't say it in public, but there are some in public domain like the Byju's and all these companies which have gone flat, and people have lost money, LPs have lost money. Yeah. But the new era is going to be careful investing, cross-border investment, and also the freedom to invest. Okay. For example, I can go and invest in US stocks.
Yes.
So the freedom is there. Whichever market is
Yes.
more favorable to the investor, I can go there.
Okay. You want to add something, Vaibhav? Yeah.
Yes, just I think we've gone through the first 5-year cycle where we stumble and make these mistakes of investing in a FOMO effect.
Yeah.
I think we've surpassed that. In the next 5 years, we'll be more smarter and sophisticated investing with AI's help, actually, because the people will use that tool to understand better.
Okay. Also, crypto, Bitcoin, a trend that's here to stay or headed for bust?
My view, it is going to be very difficult, especially if you look at India's outlook at least. And India is one of the largest market. But I don't see digital currency will come in. It will not be the bitcoins, but it will be the digital currency.
The digital rupee.
The digital rupee. And there is a little bit of sort of people are not too comfortable with bitcoins. There is a blockchain technology and all that. But that will be used for back office, for banking, etc. But I don't think, in my personal view, it is a personal view, it is at least 5 years away for any cryptocurrency to come in.
Yes, in India it is 5 years away, maybe, or 10 years, but globally it will start to get used a little more. Because if you ask previous generation, is gold better or Bitcoin, they will say Bitcoin, right? If you ask somebody who's in his late 70s, he'll say gold. So I think you have to go with that challenge.
Yes.
And things keep changing. Okay,
Absolutely.
we've tried to delve in a bit. We're not astrologers, but we've tried to speak a bit about what's coming next in money. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as we enjoyed having it. Thank you all very much for joining us in this session at NXT 2026.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.